Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. This show will be on Clairaudience and tinnitus, if you're getting ringing in the ears, and what that means. It can mean a bunch of different things besides what the medical establishment will talk about, where it just randomly happens because of little things in the anatomy of your ear or your brain or chemical reactions or all this other stuff. That's just the working parts of it. It's like examining a door, bad metaphor. It's as if like a house was buried in the desert or something, buried by all the sand, and whole civilizations change or something. They're like, oh, what is this? This is an old dwelling of mortal man back in the day. And what are these little things? We took it apart in like let's say a doorbell or something, and they're like, oh, what, this wire goes here, and if they're like beyond wire, this is a bad metaphor. And they're taking apart the doorknob and they're letting that lead to what it means instead of looking at how it's set up to translate information and work as a system to where it's not something that's wrong, it's or something that's happening that's bad or anything in general. It's an indication. So it's indicating to the person that there's something that needs your attention. It can be bad, neutral, or good. It could be things like the Tibetan universal Om. There's a concept in the Song of the Ancestors, and tapping into that and the voices of the ancestors that are bleeding over from the blood of the lineage, wanting to talk to somebody. There'll usually be an operating system of observation to go into it, where either you can have it synced up like a telephone call, or visually like you're going down a hallway of doors, and all the doors represent parts of your consciousness, and one of the doors is knocking or ringing a doorbell, and it needs your attention to answer it or go to the other side and go into a conversation room with a being that wants to communicate with you. So it usually means communication in some way is ringing your doorbell, which is why I'm even going into that horrible metaphor from before. So it could be that. It could be cautionary indications. It could be you understanding there's a frequency in the environment and you're picking up on it, depending on if you have ultrasonic hearing, which goes into the saccule organs, which is something we share with dolphins that can lead to echolocation, as well as perceiving greater awareness and information and frequencies. I don't want to go the wrong direction. Okay. Yeah. So could be that. I'm trying to brown it because I've seen it in many different things as well as I get it myself. Sometimes I have ringing in the back of the all day, and usually you can, if it's like that and it's not changing to your reactions or you becoming attentive of it, then it could be like something that the planet is emitting, and some downloading frequencies, updates, the galactic central sun, the sun itself, universal tractor or beyond. That's like messaging a big frequency that's traveling through space and time, either speed of light, beyond it, if it's a longitudinal wave or something. And what bandwidth you have tuned to interact with the frequency tone. It's like your phone's ringing. You need to answer. It can get negative if it gets turned up too loud, and that will go into negative self-defeating programs, which can be resolved getting your rules straight, so that if it goes out of line of rules, like any type of nudge that you get from a guide, if it's too harsh, then that'll usually mean it's not just a guide. It might, like, you got your light guides, which everyone really knows about when they go into it, and then your shadow guides. Shadow guides are like the barrier between taking hits in something and it becoming worse than it could have been in a nudge. Like, if the nudge to pay attention to something is like a big itch or pain, or that sharp pain just comes out of nowhere, or soreness, or bloody nose, all that is, like, of course, bad things, but that indicates something from something else, maybe even external, but it has to go through the operating system of the shadow guide. So, and depending on your relationship with the shadow guide, most people don't even know they exist, so they're kind of overwhelmed a lot, and they're not too happy, and they want you to understand something's happening if they can. So get a good relationship with them, and they will show you if there's something negative going on that needs your attention, but they don't need it to be as bad as it could be. And their job is to kind of like if some type of being psionically does some type of attack or hit or whatever from a distance, and you would normally take the blow if you didn't have shields up or that shadow guide, and you would take the full force. And instead of that, if you have all that set up, it won't be full force, and they'll be going through some type of barrier of them that like lowers the intensity to something more manageable, including a bunch of other ways you can sync that up. So knocking on the door, like you might not be accessing the right door, and then go to another door that's where the knocking is for tinnitus. Start tuning into it, like making neuro-linguistic programmings to change the operating system, so you tune into it like a radio until you start perceiving past the white noise. There will be a lot of things on most people that prevent them from getting telepathic messages clear.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Water Street.
So, usually for good reason, if somebody doesn't have those blockages, and if they need them, then it could turn out very bad for that person. And I'll go into that more in a bit. Please like, share,
Take the next right onto Water Street. Then your destination will be on the right.